Okay, so Apple just dropped the event invitation, the event announcement that we were expecting. So March the 8th at 10, California time, which is 1800 UTC, basically 6 p.m. in the UK. We'll try and do it, all the stuff that we normally do. We'll try and do a pre-show. I need to arrange that to make sure that I'm not working at the time, which will be quite inconvenient if we are, but I will make sure that I'm available for the event itself. We'll do an after show of some sort too. But what do we expect to see at this event? First of all, the iPhone SE, the new generation. We talked a lot about the iPhone SE yesterday. The iPhone SE 3 is expected to come with the A15 chip inside it, the same one that we already get in the iPhone 13. We're expecting that to also have 5G, but probably not MagSafe. I would love to see it with MagSafe, but the current rumors are saying unlikely. So that's kind of where we are. I would love to say it's got MagSafe, but unfortunately, if Apple doesn't put it there, it's not something I can do too much about. Other than that, we've got the iPad Air 5th generation. That's again going to get the A15 chip inside it. It's going to get 5G in the cellular versions. Probably going to get center stage on the cameras, and probably not a great deal else, but that's pretty good. If we were to get quad speakers on that, that would be a massive winner. That would then bring it up to the same kind of audio level that you get with the iPad Pros right now, which I think is quite likely because I think the iPad Pro is going to be getting a redesign as well this year. There is a possibility of another iPad at a lower price point, which would be a refresh of the base level iPad, perhaps, if that was to get the A14 chip inside. It's currently got the A13 that came out in the fall last year. Maybe Apple trying to catch it up a little bit to a more recent processor. That would be interesting. We're also thinking that the iPhone SE2 that currently exists with the A13 inside might be sticking around at a lower price point, which would be huge for Apple too. Possibly $199, possibly $249, but possibly also only in certain markets, not everywhere. It might not be a wide release, but something that you can get in certain emerging markets that need a little bit more of a leg up. But other than that, we are also expecting up to 3 different Macs, 2 desktops and 1 laptop have been registered in the EEC database, and so we're expecting at least one of those to be a Mac Mini. There's a possibility that we're going to get an M2 inside the Mac Mini. We're potentially going to get an M2 iMac is the other possibility if we don't get a Pro level Mac Mini with the M1 Pro or M1 Max chip inside, but that would make sense for what we've been told about. And also what we've been hearing is that there's actually going to be a MacBook Pro 13-inch model, possibly without the touch bar. I think that this would be branded as the MacBook, not as the MacBook Pro. That would make sense then that it has the right, that would make sense that it has the smaller display, the lower quality display. The MacBook Pros, only anything with a Pro in the name will just become the Pro chips. And that would just align Apple's line up a little bit better with the MacBook Air getting a little bit of a price bump, which we'd heard about before, possibly up to $1,100 or $1,200. That would then sit in that spot with the mini LED display, but without ProMotion, so a 60 Hertz mini LED display, but that's coming later in the year. So what we're expecting at this event: iPhone SE, iPad Air 5, Mac Mini Pro, Mac Mini M2 potentially, and MacBook M2. That's my list. That's what I'm expecting to see at this event. Let me know in the comments if you think it's anything different. Will it still be branded as a MacBook Pro, that 13-inch model with the inferior display, which is going to be worse than the MacBook Air display? I don't see that. I see them taking that 13-inch MacBook Pro, taking away the touch bar to the body shape that they had in the first place, and calling it a MacBook. That makes sense. That becomes your entry-level model at $999. Mac Mini M2 at, let's call it $799, $699 still for the M2, and maybe the M1 Mac Mini drops down to $499, $599, something around that point. $499 is where the Mac Mini started all those years ago. I was talking about a Mac Mini SE way back in, I don't know, November, December of last year, and I think it's something that is going to probably happen. That Mac Mini is destined to be a super entry-level, super affordable Mac, I think. Let's see what happens. It's exciting though anyway. Also, let me know in the comments what you think this invite means. What do you think we can infer from it? We'll talk about that more tomorrow, of course, because that's what we always do when we've got a new invite. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks to the Patreons who aren't on the screen because I'm recording this out and about and don't have the opportunity to do that. But icavedave.com/Patreon if you want to join. Thank you so much for being here. See you in the next one.